Hey guys, Driven to Conquer here. What we're going to be doing is doing a comparison of speed farm builds that I've been messing around with the PTR. Again, this is all being done on the Season 22 patch 2.6.10 PTR right now. We have the 4th cube slot as well as the shadow clones. We are comparing the standard Fists of Heaven, which has been meta speed farming for the Crusaders since, I believe, since Ages of Valor that came around. And then we're comparing a new one, a new up-and-comer that I've been messing around with, which is the Akkhan Bomb Vest Crusader. I have a video on my YouTube about this one as well. It's been really, really fun to play Condemned with this recent patch, being able to take advantage of the Norvalks thing. So a couple rules getting into this thing. If you guys want to see me continue this series, feel free to comment down below which builds you'd like to see side-by-side comparison to on a Greater Rift 100. We can do Greater Rift 120s, etc., etc. We all kind of know that the Bomb Satyr is kind of, we're waiting to see what comes out on the other end with the nerfs, so let's just stick with these for now. Please open any suggestions. Doesn't have to be just Crusader class. Whatever you guys want to see, I want to make a little speed racing test video. Getting into this, just to note, both have 800 paragon applied into them. The highest gem that they're both actually using is the Bane of Trapped. That's around 111. But other than that, the gear is kind of not that optimized. It's still lots of room for improvement, no augments. The Fist of the Heavens, I got a crazy clear out of this one on 100. Great maps. I tried to find an equal map for the Condemned to kind of equate to it. I took these two's best games, and as you're seeing them here right now, I could go and add up the averages. I did about 5 Greater Rifts, Greater Rift 100s for them. I could get into that if you really want to get into the math, but I really just kind of want to see side by side, you know, how far behind one is. As you can see, the Akkhans is a little bit behind. I'm playing foolishly. I died twice in that one, but it's really not that far behind a Fist of the Heavens. And the Fist of the Heavens is doing great. We got really lucky on one mob time. We got really lucky on the maps, of course. And when you're going to be farming those Greater Rift 100s, you know, the reason why I'm doing hundreds is simply because 80s and Torment 16, you can kind of, you know, get sub 2 minutes on a variety of builds. But when you start getting into that 100 realm where you want to be farming fast, but the rifts might be getting a little more difficult, it really tests builds, I feel, a little bit more at that Greater Rift level. So again, as you can see, we have fallen a little bit behind on the Condemned side, but man, like, not by much. You know, it could be just simply mob type. It could be a density issue. As you can tell, I'm really rooting for the Condemned here. But of course, Fist of Heaven just being a very consistent damage dealer. I am using Judgment for this Fist of Heaven's build. I'll get into the build a little bit later about it. But we spawned the Rift Guardian probably, what is that, like through, I don't know, 3 minutes in. We got Bone Warlock. Getting close on the Condemned one, but it's just not the best map, unfortunately, too. RNGesus was not on our side with this one. Rule for this one, you are allowed to use pylons, because again, this is a speed farm build, so we are benefiting from that shadow clone. Both of these builds have Nemesis Bracers, because again, we're trying to make speed farm variants, and you'll see in the gear here that we are sparing no expense when it comes to damage. So this is where the Condemned definitely falls short. I should have mentioned that Fist of Heavens cleared it with 11 minutes and I believe 17 seconds, I could be wrong, left over. So we cleared that one in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Not too bad for a 100. Here we are with the Condemned, doing our best. We have that Crusader Shadow Clone helping us out a little bit. We cleared it with 10 minutes and 31 seconds left, which gave us a 4.5 minute rip. Okay, let's get into the gear. So for the Fist of Heavens, we are doing Ages of Valor. We are doing Captain Crimson. We are using Norvalks. And then we are doing Convention of Elements. And then Compass Rose, Traveler's Pledge. Very standard for speed. These, of course, can be rolled out to other things. This was my speed farm for all of Season 21. And since we're doing speed, I did not, even though we're doing greater of 100s, you might want to put some diamonds in there for resistance, natural toughness. We just put in rubies. Same thing goes for the condemned set, which we'll get into after. For the gems, we're using Bane of the Powerful, which I did notice in that video. I'd never killed a full elite mob for some reason, so it didn't proc even the blues. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I was using Bane of the Powerful. If anything, I guess I was using Bane of the Stricken, and that's my bad. Moving on, we're doing Zay's Stone, so damage is increased the further we are from our opponent. And then Bane of the Trapped, which was the highest gem that was used between the two different sets. Zay's was 30. That doesn't really matter, but that's just very standard for speed farming. The only change that they had to this set was Norvolk getting a bump in percent damage, going from 100 to now 400% increased damage while using Steed Charge, and 5 seconds after. So you throw down all your Fist of Heaven's fissures, ride around in a little pony show, hop off, you get that damage. Again, this is the only thing that really changed. I mentioned in the video that I'm using Mass Judgment to kind of I guess for the kiting, since I would normally, because I'm a weakling, I would normally put diamonds in my gear. So I wanted to test out how Zay's felt with this set, and it felt pretty good. But then if you're using Zay's and you're hitting from afar, you're not getting that bonus from Bane of the Trapped for the controlling imperative effects. You can't. Normally I would use Shield Glare, but sometimes since I'm a little squishy, I can't get over there, and they're getting hit by the Fist of Heaven's fissures. You can just throw that under them, since the cast rate range of this is further than what Shield Glare would be. But you can always use Shield Glare, Divine Verdict to get that 20%. Totally fine. On that note, let's go into the cube. We're using Dark Light, very standard. Cassette's Cord of the Righteousness. This is, for whatever reason, I have problems with this belt. It doesn't feel like it does as much as I think it does, but it's fine. We're just stacking. We're just going all damage. I would like to sometimes put like an Aquilus in there or something like that. Ring of Royal Grandeur, so we tie all the sets together. And then I'm using Messerschmitts here just to keep more uptime. That's one thing that was kind of missing from this, even when you're using Zodiac to get that enhanced cooldown. That only procs when you're spending Fist of Heavens, but what this set does is now you gain Wraith. Hitting with Fist of Heavens returns 5 Wrath and reduces damage taken by 1 per second, stack number 10, blah, 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 blah. So you can kind of cheese it if you're using Zodiac and you intentionally miss some of your stuff, but then it's going to return Wrath for you, so then it doesn't proc it. So Messerschmitts kind of takes care of that. You're running through blast and everything. You're getting cooldown on, Akkhan's Champion. You're getting cooldown on this. The only reason we're using Laws of Valor is simply to get that toughness buff. You could throw something else in that as well. Moving on to the skills. Judgment, Mass Verdict, as we said before. Steed Charge, Endurance, just for that extended length where you got to clear some of those long hallways. Fissures are main damage dealer. There is argument to go to what is it, Retribution or Divine Well. Yeah, I use Divine Well sometimes too to benefit a little bit more from Holy Cause, which is one of your passives. And I don't know what I'm doing. Iron Skin Flash. If you don't need the resistance, you can swap it out for something else. Laws of Valor, again, for that toughness that you get from Captain Crimson's when you have the increased resource cost reduction. And Akkhan's Champion, Prophet. You need to use Heavenly Strength in order to use Norvolk's Finery, just for more damage. Holy Cause, get that increased 10%. And then Lord Commander, and if you are feeling extra squishy, you just put on Indestructible for another failsafe. Now let's get into the Akkhan set. And here we have the Akkhan Condemned. Very fun class. Very, very fun. We are using whatever this set's called, the set of Akkhan. Anyway, we're getting the 6-piece bonus from that. They changed this season, went from 1,500 increased damage to 2,000% increased damage. That's very nice. I think they could probably go a little bit more, but we'll see. So benefiting from the 6-piece for that, we are using FoH Build as well from the bracers and the shoulders. Then, of course, we are using Captain Crimson's, and then Norvolk. So this set was really able to happen, and when they take this away, which I hope they never do, when they take away the 4th cube slot, this set will not be viable, unfortunately, anymore, and I hope that never happens and they give us the cube slot forever. Moving on to the cube, we have Blade of Prophecy. 2 condemned enemies also trigger Condemn's explosion, and the damage of Condemned is increased by 800%. That's why this is so effective in groups, is that you're double proccing off of everything. So for Rift Guardians that spawn adds, you're happy. For anything else, you are not happy. Moving on, we have that Nemesis Bracers, because again, this is a speed variant. Normally, if I was pushing any higher, I'd put in Aquilises or even Stone Gauntlets, because you have 100% uptime on Akkhan's Champion with this build. Ring of Royal Grandeur and Freighter's Wrath. Condemned has no cooldown, and its damage increased by 800%, and instead costs 40 Wrath. There is an internal cooldown on Wrath, or a wind-up time, so you can't just overly spam it, even with the Unleashed thing. But more or less, yeah, there's no cooldown to what it originally is. Moving on to the gems that I missed this, we are using Bane of the Stricken, because this one suffers so bad from killing Rift Guardians, that especially they don't have those adds. We are using Esoteric, which that's max at 100. I forgot that one was, but you definitely need that resistance. And then Bane of the Trapped. Basic playstyle is, as you saw, just instead of casting Fists of Heavens, you are just running up and blowing things up next to you after you dismount from Steed Charge. So let's get into the skills. We are using Slash Guard. When you run in there and you're hitting a yellow, throw out a couple just standard generator attacks to get your armor up. Stacks up to 5 times. Of course, using Steed Charge Endurance. Our main damage dealer is our Condemned, which is Unleashed, which makes it so you instantly explode. Instantly Unleash Massive Explosion, dealing 1160% weapon damage as holy, blah 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 blah. You can have fun with the different runes here. Vacuum's always fun. Reciprocate would be probably good for later tier rifts, so there is a fire variant that you might be able to do with this. Increase the damage range, which is nice, but there's a longer wind up time. So reduce the cooldown, don't need that one. It'd be interesting if they made a weapon that gave you like all of these somehow, if that was possible. Anyway, one day maybe. One day. So we use Unleashed. Iron Skin Flash, Laws of Valor, Unstoppable Force, Akkhan's Champion, and then of course Heavenly Strength, Finery, Indestructible for just a little extra. You could replace that with a couple more non-physical damage, and Lord Commander, whatever you feel like. Long Arm of the Law, that's a very common one, but not too much, not different really too much than anything else you'd see in Fist of Heavens or really any Crusader. But you always have Akkhan's Champion, you always have some kind of Iron Skin, you always have some Laws of Valor, and passives are passives. When you don't need a two-handed, you go to Fervor, and Fervor is a really strong one. But other than that, the Crusader passives are a little weak. Anyway, I digress. Guys, let me know in the comments below if you want me to continue these videos, if you want me to do specific classes, other sets. I would like to keep it class specific for now, and then we can branch out later if you want me to do 120s. Let me know in the comment. Even if you don't know the other class, tell me a class you want me to see as a speed farm. Please remember to check out that Twitch, twitch.tv/driven2conquer. I appreciate everyone who stuck around this long in the video, and I will catch you guys in Sanctuary. Have a good night.